For me, it feels like there's a lot of electricity in the air. Of course, that's what the Mercury-Uranus planets squaring each other is what's happening this week till about, well, Thursday. Is it Thursday today? No, it's Wednesday. So, but yeah, we're still feeling the Mercury square, and it's exactly squaring my moon at 15 or 14 degree Aquarius. Not easy. A lot of electricity in the air. Literally, there's a storm brewing up outside. It's going to start snowing, and I guess once it starts snowing, my weatherman says it's going to keep snowing until Saturday. So I've been doing work that I have to do to just be ready to hunker down, to be, going through the snow. And the pine trees right now are sounding off with a lot of wind. And I was just wondering who is taking the time to listen to those, because they're amazing. I never um, tire of that sound, and I can never get enough of it. And anyway, thanks for listening to this. Going back to what's in the air, the electricity. Literally, Mercury and Aquarius. Well, Aquarius rules electricity. It rules all of the technological advancements that we are using through electricity, and that even includes science, yes, that points at our creation, the light that Tesla is saying that holds even the sun in its place. Lightning is something to associate the planet Uranus and Aquarius with. It's very mysterious, but you can start using that metaphor of how that it's driving human existence. We wish it was forward. It's certainly maintaining a certain comfort, but are we aware of what we really need? And what are we trying to keep comfortable? You know what I mean? I mean, what are we doing here? So Aquarius has these strange questions that way. They really have a natural knack for letting people have their space about wandering in their mind free and letting that happen, and even in themselves as individuals, and that's what we're going to experience is more freedom doing that. But the Mercury in Aquarius in the sky right now, squaring Uranus in the sky right now, which is in Taurus, which squares Aquarius, but is Uranus. It's Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? It's Mercury is also I associate with having to deal with that true light, which is the higher mind. That if you're doing it right, you're getting zapped by that puppy, and it's coming from the heart, the electronic connection that the heart really does have, where the mind is going to be constantly reprogrammed. And now, can you remember just how it is that you learned that? That's all. You don't hang on to the details very much like you think. It's never about the obvious. And anyway, listen to that. In the sky right now, we would rather be alone and let high-mindedness come into us, and then we can talk about our ideas later to each other, because it's bound to be that, especially with me, babes, and really within society you might see it more, that people are going to be lighting up with this amazing ideas. This is happening now with Mercury square to Uranus. This is where it's not good. It's a square. So there's a lot of non-self-reflecting minds that says, I have an idea. And then they're going to run down the road with it and try and drag everybody in on it and say, and you're like number one. You're the thing in my mind. We can do this, and this is like a very common thing that the human mind is susceptible to. You got to second question the person who just shows up out of the blue and says, wow, we can really work together. It's like, well, first of all, um, who are you? You know what I mean? So there's where astrology can come in. I mean, really, it's curious at this point, having 3 subscribers a day pop up on my YouTube, and it's because of the narcissist video about gift-giving narcissism, and it's a very fascinating subject matter. Mainly, what's fascinating is trying to articulate the dimensions of them, their existential reality, like how they are operating, and the core intentions and where it's all coming from, without sounding as that you just get confused, and then of course there's being upset. Most people that have made, you can see the ones who are fuming about narcissism. I mean, I wonder why they can't get over it, right? I agree. You know, um, you know, uh, if you're making plenty of money and like I see here, I'm just trying to say, I'm saying like, well, wait a minute, is it worth it trying to toy around with a narcissist who only considers your life as a game and doesn't see the big picture as the game, and it could come down on us if we don't shape up with our lovability, blah blah blah. Is it worth it trying to get a one-on-one going that's so dangerous about whatever, taking up your time and yeah, colonizing your mind and all this and stuff? Like for some people, maybe like me, it's about connecting with, say, because like here I got Facebook that has a supposed 448 friends. You can check me out on, it's Shauna Nirvana Wyatt. The middle name is Nirvana. If you want to look at my Facebook and talk to me personally in my message box, usually I'm pretty darn available. But at this time, I mean, I would warn you, um, I could, since Uranus been is on my moon and Saturn too, the squares that have been exact in the middle degree. I have not been in the mood, any kind of mood. The mood is very, it has to do with Aquarius, and it's my Aquarius moon that says, no, I'm listening to something right now. Would you please? And what I'm saying is what I'm saying, and why can't you hear me? And it's just like, aha! A lot of friends have been lost. I mean, really, it's supposed to happen with a lot of people. Sorry about the ramble here. It's Saturn in Aquarius, which is what we had. We're wrapping that up. It's like about 2.5 years, 3 years of Saturn being in Aquarius, which for a lot of people, it was just cold as hell. Lost a lot of friends, departed, got colder and colder, and colder and colder, and it's going to get a little colder because we're just traipsing through Aquarius, the later degree of Aquarius. The coldest our degree is 29 degrees. I happen to have a good friend who just had a birthday on February 19th. He taught me astrology. Really, really high-minded Aquarius guy. He's a Sagittarius kind of a feel. Um, they get along, and anyway, but high-minded and taught me astrology, and he had a 29-degree Aquarius, so I got to study this person's heaviness, considering that it's the last degree of Aquarius, to talk about pouring the knowledge out and getting it over to Pisces, which of course now we have an ocean of existence to look into that isn't Pisces' fault, but they sure do take it on, don't they? In many ways, and they're actually very versatile about whatever they can be doing in life, and then hopefully just stay away from the booze. Boy, I mean, I'm just kidding, but no, really, with Saturn and coming up in Pisces, might see an increase of that, like the 80%, like the low life population might just go backwards and not have the discipline enough to stay away from the wrong drugs and the alcohol and the ways to anesthetize that isn't so safe. I mean, pick a safe way to zonk yourself out until things blow over, whatever it is that you can't understand. But I would suggest torture yourself with awareness, do it yourself, give yourself that own hard time, whatever it is. Even if it seems like a complete sidetrack, at least you're doing it yourself and nobody else is doing it for you. As far as how that you could be dragged into another paradigm, somebody else's problem, and somebody else's thing. It's like, wait a minute, That's what the narcissist does, is they drag you into their problem and their paradigm. It's hard to tell who's after a while, because it's like, wait a minute, I had a basic human need. You have a need to fuck with people and play a game with people's lives. And like, how many so-called dead bodies do you have in the closet up there because of, well, they have a string of people that they just toss out, so-called friends. There's, as well as a lot of friends that are there are other people that say, no, that person is a fat, shady fucker, whatever, what I mean. It's not Slim Shady, it's Fat Shady, I don't know, whatever, it's funny. A little bit of shady. No, these people are a lot. And they equally have as many people just saying, nah, fuck them, but then they have a swarm around them. They call them flying monkeys, but they are just supply. Sorry about getting on that subject matter again, but I was gonna say, and this is the truth. In my living room, the people that I have invited in, the way I am, I'm very isolated, and then the conversations that we end up having, I feel like just press record, boom, and then air it on YouTube, because there's a thing called Buddhism, and that is just a conversation between two people. It's just a conversation, and we need to get these conversations recorded, because you can always get something out of it. Not if you're stupid, not if you're a loser. That's what my dad would say. You never have to walk away from anything as a loser. Try to find out, even if it's just learning, well, you know what, that experience I could have done without, and so there's a lot of things I need to filter more and not expect anything to be as fulfilling as just, say, the few things that are out there, and hence stay away from Stephen King. Just kidding, I can't tell people what to do, but stay away from something taking your own imagination away from you, the ability to use it in such a way that is more constructive for the whole. Or just fall in the hole. I don't know, babes. These videos I'm pumping out, because there is a lot of electricity in the air, it's about communications for us. I can have a groovy time with it, Mercury conjuncting my moon. How many times does Mercury conjunct a person's moon? Probably once every 1.5 to 2 or 3 years, to tell you the truth. So I'm doing what I do naturally. I would like to stress here, it's minute 4:13. No. Anyway, I'm just hypnotizing you, that's all. Anyway, no, Mercury on the moon, boy, I'm hypnotizing myself. Sorry about this. So this is what I need to coach right now. Should I just go live? The money system is interesting, because it's like this SM system, that it can go both ways. It can help, or it can hinder, right? It can become a watering system or a starving system, right? Yes. And well, there has been centralized the access to the flow of monies and how that it's being made and everything, and on a grand scale. I mean, it's really interesting to think about possibly what money originally is connected to, speaking in terms of the intelligences that might be out there, like ETs or extraterrestrials, or just say otherworldly occupations. And it's just like I said, it could work really well for a certain kind of intelligence. And now, if you're wondering what that intelligence might have been, and I say might have been, is because that's not working, A church took that over, but anyway, that intelligence happens to be written on money. It says, "In God we trust." That's the way you play the game. In God we trust. Boy, is that fucked up, because it's the wrong word. I mean, if you put the J down and the Y and you leave the O up, it's the same. In O we trust, or in God, in joy we trust. How about that? Because we're human. We need to know about something that we can humanly relate with. What do we trust really is a good feeling when you get from somebody, right? To create a balance, don't you think that would be something that you would be concerned about as far as your entire being, But we have money creating moral masochists out of people, just to make a little more, get a bonus, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the more you make, the more likely. This is not just me talking, but the more likely you are I hate to say the word again, darn it, narcissist, but, I kind of get depressed about it, ending up talking about it. It doesn't hurt me as much as, say, being fully entangled. I can't imagine trying to make sense out of having kids with one. First of all, trying to make sense of having kids. I always wonder what my mom was thinking, and she wasn't thinking. That was true. No, I love the possibility of human civilization being emerging up out of all of the this whatever is going on out there. A lot of people may or may not agree, and certainly, it's not excluding me being completely spam and boy, we're just bubbles popping here. Not going to make much of a difference, not like the next scientist who figures out how to, pardon me, well, all we need is to put hands on each other. We don't heal each other, right? We don't do anything, right? It's ridiculous how that whoever it is out there wants us to just live fucking in torture. Basically, they love the frequency of pain inside of something that can easily correct itself. It just easily can correct itself if it's left alone. Just leave it alone. And how do you do that? With the human organism, I experienced it on a microcosmic level, babes, and it's just, I hate to say it, give them plenty of money. See, the key for them then, if they got plenty of money, that wasn't the worry. Give them enough to be free enough to find out what they would do, say, with an acre of land or something, and access to what they do as themselves. If they can get a little bit more for whatever they thought that they can do to output rather than to take a shit, is more like, well, I play music. Could I buy some guitar strings or a microphone? Yes, there's always a little bit for that. If you were just able to all of a sudden wake up and say, I don't have anybody making my schedule for me. I have my schedule, and I have to discipline myself in accordance to that. It changes all around. My experience, it takes you around 5 to 6 years to figure out, wait a minute, I'm free. Yeah. And I can just, I don't have to live this fragmented mentality where it's like, I can't do this and I can't do that. No, you can do it. You can do it. And look what you can do being free. Not worrying about making money. And, you go and you run somebody else's business. I hate to talk about it like this, sounding like I don't have Venus and Virgo in the 6th house at all. Venus and Virgo in the 6th house is somebody who works with such love and joy. Anybody who has ever hired me in this small community is like, no, we know her. It's just through word of mouth that I start getting bam, 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 customer after customer after customer. No problem. I'm planning on doing that. See, the last time I did it was last year. Some of it I recorded it on here. I said I'm going to start advertising. Really successful as far as getting people But you see, and here's the but. I was collapsing anyway. I was working under such physical stress, and because of the starvation issue, I was hitting at a place where it just snuck up on me. And excuse me for being there like that, and having to pick up and not being able to ask for help without sounding really, you fucking mother. And I'm still, any Aries rising is still susceptible of that. And you got to really have a lot of love for us to get to know us, to say, oh, no, what's wrong? What do you need? Well, we need freedom. I need the same thing you do. Stop acting so fucking stupid. Kind of thing, maybe, I'm pretty easy, I'm trying to keep it good for whoever. I'm trying to make space anyway. God, I lose this conversation. I can't apologize. I'm here to tell you, what the hell minute is this? I don't have my camera on. I'm not looking at it. So I'm here to tell you that I'm a storyteller. My cover before was it said the realized entertainer of the all. And all it is just I'm a storyteller, and sometimes my stories are meant for profound learning. This is just, and I'm also a master. When a master tells stories, the conversation I have with people is remembered. After a while, they anticipate my company because whatever conversation is in the room, I add Uranus to it, baby. I have a Mercury conjunct Uranus. This is what's in the sky right now. Of course, the Uranus people and the people that have the Uranus Mercury thing is going to start popping, 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 pop. Don't take the credit for having sparked me off. I mean, of course, we're going to talk about this stuff, and that's what we got to do. Like I said, one of the best, and you see it all the time, is just people having a conversation back and forth about things. You say, yeah, this and that, and so, but this about the big whole thing, and me, and then BAP, and then, and just present the structure from the understanding by way of the mouth noising as something you're free to watch and listen to. And a lot of YouTube is like that, right? You've got these heads sitting there like this, and um, you know, um, I'm not really into fitting in. And my experience, oh my God, how long now? 22 minutes. My experience with SM and this technology is that it has tried to, and it's still going to. It's like the last straw is for humanity to realize what the real plague is, what's really plaguing the possible human evolution and into its perception, like say to become more and more realized about our real lives, and how to come up with real solutions to the problems that we really can see that keep going and going and going. And now they're going to charge us for these problems because it's all our fault and we got to feel bad. And God, talk about dealing with a narcissist out there that says, you're just a plague on the earth. It's like, no, there's something going on. What is it? Well, it's the mind. It's the mind. And the mind doesn't want to know about it. We go round and round about this. It's an age-old problem. And there isn't any, it's just going to keep mounting up. And you can't be somebody who knows of the cure. Say, if you're saved, and that's really what we're looking at, babes. When you're saved, when you say you're saved, it means you fucking clicked out of it. You're not a mind anymore. You're just being here now. And when a mind approaches you, boy, I'm telling you, this is the truth. If you practice being here now and just not as a mind, you're practicing love, which is just a presence. Now, when a mind comes to you, first of all, you'll see, oh my God, this thing has an intention. It thinks I'm a mind. I'm not. I'm just this moment now. No minds can be now. You'll see all their intention, but then, so when you see that, you're looking into the mind again, and it just starts to dissolve. And by the time they sit next to you, they can get really paranoid. The mind, when it starts to dissolve, in the moment your real life starts to appear, and your body might take over. You might feel, yeah, you feel anxiety. You have not been able to relax in a long time, most likely. You're approaching me with your mind, and you are guaranteed I'm a mind, and you want to hide in my mind, and it's like, I don't have that for you. What happens is, okay, so peace can happen, because I didn't just say, I have an argument for you, I have disagreement, I have a wall. No, I'm just like, hi, except you just create this space. They don't like that. They don't like it. It's hard to get into it. If it's a mind that doesn't see itself for what it is, it has no self-reflection. So when you're interested in something there and you show an interest, they don't know what you're interested in. So it's just like, it's puzzling. They can fall through their assholes right in front of you. That's one way to get rid of a mental case, a bona fide narcissist, somebody who is up to no good. They are a mind that wants you in your mind. They want to, what they call, colonize inside of your mind. Something has to be more real than the reality of them and everything like this. And so then, once they see that you're not capable of playing that game, you're not going to play that game, boy, a lot of reactions you'll get. Some of them are like programmed by the dark side to just try and destroy you, and could be decades over decades that they'll just hit you and try and you better watch out, because the more time you spend with them, the more you're gonna find out, fuck, I've got all these swords in me. And eventually you might go down with those swords. You better rethink your fucking strategy of who it is you have around you that pretends like they are interested in you. They can't be interested in anybody because there isn't a self-interest enough there. It's different for them. They're playing a game and they're interested in winning that game, right? And they're interested in being a winner and some kind of fucking fantastic, yeah, the system trains them to be that way. Get it right, or you get punished. And it's like, no, when I get the truth right, I'm rewarded. Otherwise, if I get it wrong, like say how to walk on a tightrope or something that you're trying to learn, it's not God punishing you, it's the truth punishing you. Um, see, a lot of people are stupid in saying, God is not a punishing God. And it's like, what are you talking about when you say God? You're thinking that there's some kind of captain up there? Okay, yeah. No, you're wrong, baby. That puppy right there is throwing you in the fucking fire. You want to? No, I'll sum it up right now. There is a lot of trash cans more coming out of humanity, just pure trash, rather than what God says and says, no, this is it. Put this on the shelf. Or he eats it and says, good for me. No, there's more. There's a big furnace over there. Jesus is like, oh, Jesus. And he needs more. They need more help. I'm there going, not this one either. No, not this one. Oh, God. Why? I tried to help him. I know, we're trying to help him. What kind of help do you need? You know what I mean? Well, some people, they just need freedom, right? They need the freedom to know their potential. That is the same for everybody. Jesus said, hey, this is yours too. This is yours. The same way. It can be the same way. Whatever this is you think I'm doing, which nowadays it's just, do you see the way that person, after a few weeks, all of those cats that bit people spontaneously aren't biting them anymore, and they aren't biting anymore? Well, give them back to those people, and those fucking animals will start biting them again, because why? They're not bothering to get to know the animal. It's more like what they do to it is just, okay, that you're objectifying the whole scene. Good for you. Wow. I don't want to get into the subject matter of owning animals now in the 2020s, where there's a war and they have targeted you and your animal now too, concerning the food and the education about how to take care of them, which goes along with the veterinarian service, which is like, have you gotten your animal insurance yet? Health insurance yet? Oh my God, no!